Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Republic of Amalfi series here on the Lord Master channel, in which, well, we're still not quite running the Republic just yet, but I will be now, most definitely be the heir to the Republic. I will be elected as the next, what is it called again? The title? The Proto-Duke, or Doge, of Amalfi. Are part of the Archipelago of Amalfi, which again we use Greek and Italian terms interchangeably because of habitual reasons. There you go. Had a struggle of phrasing here. Now, as we know, it still takes place in Neapolis, also known as Naples, Napoli, or Napoli. And as you can see here, it is currently ran by Archon Landar the Crusader. He earned this nickname because, one, he not only has the Crusader trait, and two, we went on a second crusade for Aquitaine, and we contributed the most more than any other, and gave us these nice little rewards, especially in prestige, which the prestige is so high that there will be no competition and no need to donate the money to the campaign fund on all that. So we should be fine and dandy for all that, as we're continuing to make some upgrades here on each and every one of these buildings before we get up to Grand Palace, which may happen in his lifetime. But money and crusading isn't really his thing. What do you mean money isn't his thing? What are you, stupid for just saying that? Yeah, you are. But I'll tell you what he's not stupid at. His high learning skill. He is no mental midget. He wasn't born yesterday. Although his only weakness is intrigue, which is due to him being content. But let us not worry about that. I mean, he's good at everything else. Other than he's a cynic. Again, let's count these traits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 traits. Okay. It may change over time. But at least he is a personable person, as he is gregarious. He's also a bit a homosexual, which unfortunately that lowers his fertility, and he's already impregnated his lustful wife, who has a higher fertility, and we cannot guarantee that it's going to be the son. Because here's one problem about House Urso: 7 living members. And that is one thing. And my father is the designated heir. That's because he's the only male member of this house eligible. That means there's a bottleneck in this dynasty. So, there's your issue. And we cannot guarantee that this child is going to be a son. And if it's a daughter, we'll keep trying. Until I get desperate when I turn 40 years old. But at least I'm a family man, as I'm devoted to the harmony and well-being of his family, just to increase that little bit of fertility, in addition to, you know, a few other bonuses, including where is it? Including here, plus 10. At least that negates it a bit. A bit. Excuse me. Now, besides the fact that he has a high learning skill on a Crusader, but his best known work right now is he's a member of the Hermetic Society, which he'll be promoted soon. He's been a member of that society for a good while now. In fact, in 2 months, he'll be promoted to initiate instead of a neophyte. So at least we'll get to do more work on that. He's a family man, and he also has a state-of-the-art laboratory, because in that previous episode, that he spent both time and a small fortune to construct a proper office where alchemical experiments can be performed. This laboratory is built to Be able to handle any experiment, documented, and employs a small team of helpers to keep all the furnaces going at all times. He was tutored. He's currently writing a book. And his business focus is for the lemon growers of Amalfi, which in a couple of years we may have to change that business focus because we have the prestige. And he published a theorem paper in which we'll have to do that again in a couple of years. His only focus right now is to amass fortune. Just do not spend any money for the next couple of months. And then when it reaches up, then there's a little more prestige and a bit of stewardship skill increased. We'll spend on something from there. And do not forget that he is the grandson of Saint Raphael, which gain more devotion in monastic societies and Christian church opinion. So you could say, even as the member of that Hermetic Society, which he doesn't like me for it, and the fact that I am left-handed and a homosexual, well, hey, we're fellow Crusaders. Alright? So we're good. And I belong to a saintly bloodline, so at least you respect me. But now let's focus on the realm of science as I will take a drink. And pray for a son. If not, well then, oh well, keep trying. It's not the end of the world. This pregnancy has caused my wife to develop quite the unusual taste. Most of what she asks for dinner nowadays ranges from mildly unsettling to positively revolting. Still, scholars do agree that a pregnant woman's cravings should always be accommodated. Piece of advice for you people who still play Crusader Kings 2 for a living. If you pick this option, that increases the chance of your child to... Well, I don't know about that because there's this option in the game with delayed genetic traits. Like you may never know that this child's going to be club-footed. And here's said that the child could be hair-lipped. Or this one where your child might end up being ugly. But it can't always be guaranteed because I have this option in the game as part of the Dark Ages mod of delayed genetic traits. And I believe that's also the same for the HIP mod. Which again, if you're going to do it, if any of you viewers who play Crusader Kings 2 for a living, and if you like to play in this setting of HIP, trust me, I recommend not only that, but also the Dark Ages mod and the various Immersion Events and Tales mod for little things. But I will make sure that she gets all she wants and more, which, yeah, it makes her gluttonous, but does not give them any of these bad genetic traits that a child could have potentially. And she just gained gluttonous. And it's too many traits. Hopefully she doesn't lose to lustful. If any, hope she loses gluttonous, which she just received. Keep an eye on that. No, because there's a disease out there. As much as I'd like to serve in the Amalfian army, then I want no part of it. She didn't lose the lustful trait. Good. It's good to know. And also, yes, it's over the domain limit, but once I'm elected, I can have the domain limit and get away with all. But ever since I got Geta, it's a restless province right now, and it's volatile. Same for here, restless and volatile. Okay, Father, you're the spy master of this thing. You may be stressed, so provide full political support. I got all the prestige that I could spend, not to worry. And I'm about to become the initiate. Iodine patient also helps in addition to high learning. And also, thanks to my tutor, he gave me the renowned physician trait, which makes me a little more healthier and all that, in general opinion. Discreetly, silently, invisibly, our assets are placed inside of the rebels of my province. Not only they will provide information, allowing us to be one step ahead of them, but also Will our spies manipulate their decisions to further my interests while looking to advance theirs? Why, the main overseer did the job of a true spy master. Well, technically my spy master currently is my sister, Serena Hilt, who is better than my father's. She can keep me covered when it comes to plots against me. So there you go. Neapolis is no longer, you know, what I would call the mean streets. Because of restlessness. It is a good tradition to have some gossips around a pregnant woman in order to keep her calm and distracted from the tribulations of this delicate time in her life. As Xena's husband, it is my duty to provide her with the support she needs. Well, she needs familiar faces around her. Ask some of my family members to spend time with Xena to keep her mind off of any worries that might besiege her. Prestige, piety, and health gain, just for her. Hereby grant you the permission to advance next week over the Hermetic Society. What are you again? Oh, Kipchak. Thought you were a Khazar. So, +1 learning as an initiate. I can now perform scrying and also brew a potion of edamame. I am happy with my place in life. I can't think of anything I'd rather do than just take care of myself and my friends. I am content. My father loves my philosophy. I have feared for his sanity. He's not been himself lately. To help ease his problems, I made him join me in the garden to relax and just talk about whatever he needed to talk about. He felt less stressed afterwards. It did get rid of his stressed trait. That's good. At least you'll be around for a couple of more years. And remember, I remember the previous owner gave away the... It was Masone that gave it to father. But ever since I went on a crusade, I got my own set of armor. Langobard Crusader armor. And also I got my own Lance of the Cross. To make up for, you know, getting rid of the Spear of Amalfi. So, piece of advice. If you are a Tier 2 Republic, you have to go for a Lance. Because of the amount of troops bonuses and the pikemen. Especially if you are of the Italian culture group. As, you know, Italians tend to be, well, that most Italian cultures tend to have the pikeman thing, but since I'm a Langobard and they're obviously of the formerly Germanic descent, that's why they have knights retinue. I have encountered Adept Eustabios, Bishop Eustabios, many times while carrying out my duties for Hermetic Society. It is always a pleasant occasion. We could talk for hours if the time allows, because he never bores me while our discussions are often lengthy. We soon agree on the matters which are most important. I mean, I do have a few friends, including my father, Doctor of Philosophy and tutor and all that. Well, I'm a homosexual. I mean, I could do that, or just have more friends. A nutcracker? I don't know, because if I were to ask him that I had a crush on him and profess my feelings, I mean, two things. One, he's a man of the cloth. Greek Catholic. And two, well, if he rejects my advances, you may never know that he'll, you know, I think let's just be friends then. If there is another male character that has a homosexual trait, that one I'd be more willing. Yes, I approve for more centralization. Do not spend your money. Wait till 1,000. Administrative office is complete. And I got the stewardship. Portion at a large retinue size. I have a son! Uh-oh, and he's sickly too. Think of a easier Germanic sounding name to me. Lupus, isn't that... Don't... Wait. Since your child is born sickly, and if you're thinking of modern medical terms of what lupus is, you think that would be bad luck if you named your kid Lupus, who is born sickly? And what happens if the court physician screws up the treatment? Well, then again, you might have more sons, and it all depends on skill of who gets to be designated heir. You know, why the heck not? Why on earth would you name your son Lupus? If taken out of context, of course. It could be the variation that became the Italian lupo, which describes wolf. I may have to look that up. Anyways, to the initiate Landar. Initiate Pardos, is he Greek? Yes, Greek Catholic. Is a greedy, slothful idiot who deserves none of the riches in his possession. What do you say, brother? Shall we raid his laboratory and claim that which to be ours? Adet Pericles. Greek? No, Lombard. So infiltrate the laboratory. So we'll be targeting Bishop Pardos of Landau. My colleague will bring me to the laboratory of Bishop Pardos. If I manage to steal or destroy anything, I'm going to notice the mission is complete. Well, I don't know. My intrigue skill isn't that great, so sure. Let's cause trouble. Plus, I need the money. He's worried about my newborn son. Lupus is a feeble little thing, even compared to the infants. Harold God says he may not live to see his first birthday. You have a vast knowledge. You must attempt to save my Lupus. Take revenge. There'll be no fighting around here. The realm has benefited from the vast network of contacts that just I left on. My Jewish magistros has fostered abroad. Somehow he always manages to keep up to date. New customs and the latest diplomatic developments. Excellent work. You see, Jewish counselors are a must-have because it gives you technology points. See? It was not hard to locate the Initiate Pardos' laboratory. Pericles tells me we enter the castle. While old Pardos has no talent for keeping secrets, he does not know how to hire proper guards. He continues telling me about the obstacle ahead. Now, you see, I'm not a greedy person, but if I could distract them, well, I'm trying to save up my money here. So, attempt to distract the guards, so I have to perform any theft sabotage myself, which limits the amount of damage I may accomplish. Or just go for the high diplomacy option, just bribe the guys. And plus, look, you make 100 every 4 months, roughly. Not to mention the money you get through trade and resources, so I have a way of people on a heavy purse, so attempt to bribe them. As tradition, my wife, Zina, underwent her churching after recovering and cleansing herself with recent pregnancy. She felt much better when she returned and clearly relieved to fully rejoined the church after a forced abstinence. Happy fun. As we step out of the shadows, the guards draw their blades. Their posture face changes to pull a heavy purse from my pocket. After a short exchange of words and coins, adapt Pericles and I enter through a heavy door. What now, brother? What course of action would you recommend? Well, I like to get that money back, so... What are you, by the way? Oh, a genius. And he's been lacking good sleep. You need to sleep. Stop staying up late all night for doing who knows what. I know one of my real-life friends has probably been telling me that as of late, but I'll take it. And hey, you're left-handed too. And you're a Platonist. Wish I was a follower of a certain philosophy. And he was formerly a peasant ruler. from Monaco. Okay, since you're the smart guy here, you're smarter than me, as you are a genius, help me find where he keeps his valuables so we stick together, safer but not as effective. Lupus. I'm not talking about lupus disease. While little Lupus still appears slightly weaker than other children his age, I swear he's much more energetic than he was a couple of weeks ago. He might not be out of the woods yet, but the worst is past. Thank you for giving my son another chance. Again, autoimmune disease. That's what lupus is. I don't think it's inheritable if a child were to be born with that. In terms of, like, say, if the mother's got lupus, and would a child have lupus? I don't know. Will you shut up about that? Thank you. Ah, here it is. Lupus. Name. For all his talking and boasting, I expected more than this. Or perhaps Initiate Pardos is more paranoid than I thought. In any case, I cannot find anything of great value. At least these nuggets of metal will sell for a few coins. It's better than nothing, I guess. That'll do. Correct. I was correct. Lupus means wolf in Latin. It was a Latin cognomen and has since then became both a given name and a family name. So I made the right call. So it means wolf. That's what that name means. Not the autoimmune disease. And of course there were a few famous people named Lupus, including let me see, what is it known for? Well, there's Lupus of Aquitaine, Lupus the second of Gascony, and Lupus the third of Gascony, so I got it. Well, anyways, once we have left the laboratory far behind us, Pericles and I collapse. Two bundles of sweaty and shivery limbs. We did it. We really did it. And we got away with it too. As a laugh erupts my lips, my body finally relaxes. Next to me, Pericles, heavy breathing, turns to a merry chuckle. We really showed him, didn't we? I need that money right now. I need to accomplish that goal. Bingo! Now, still gonna keep that favor with you. The ambition is complete. You've amassed a fortune. What can I do? Mass hoard of wealth, which adds another stewardship. Do I really need to save up all that money? You know what I would have to do to earn that money? By doing absolutely nothing. No way. Like to have a daughter. If we can have more children together. Anyways, let's speed it up a little. And of course, Lupus is a family name, so there were a few people, including Peter Lupus, American bodybuilder and actor, and Christian Lupus, a Flemish theologist and historian. Yes, I'm looking up Wikipedia, ladies and gentlemen. Including one fictional character, Anthony Lupus in the DC Comics. Anyways, my mother comes to see me. Yeah, my mother, Carla. She may be fat, but she's brawny and tall, so yeah, big mama. Yeah, my son, I'm worried. The court chaplain, but it doesn't seem to have a best interest in mind. And while executing test office, I fear it might become a danger to rule in my long run. Banish him to Monte Sant'Angelo? No, I will not get rid of him. He saved my son Lupus. I owe him for that. But then again, do not intimidate Big Mama. Big Mama Carla. Here we go again. More holy wars for areas that we don't necessarily need to go there. Even out of the pregnancy war, my wife's cravings for exotic foods she had to stop. I'm starting to think she's just taking advantage of my generosity to grow fat. I think you've had enough, my dear. She got rid of that gluttonous trait. Good. Yeah, I think we've gotten along. Is there anyone else I should be concerned about? My wife, my dear wife's finally listening to my advice. In a few weeks, she might be back in the sheep. Good for her, and good for me. Excuse me again. Now, what should we build? A little more learning will do. Let's have a grand library. A huge library containing all sorts of dusty old tomes collected and purchased from all over the known world by members of this dynasty. There are in many different languages, and no person alive has read them all. But at least they will be protected for posterity. Posterity, excuse me. English is failing me today. You ain't doing nothing. Yeah, get out of here. That would screw up the line of succession for our presence in Aragon. I wouldn't do that. I'd like to request a Chinese artifact. I don't think I've ever had one. Okay, excuse me. To the Protector General of the Heavenly Emperor addresses to the Sage Archon of the Polis of Neapolis. Heaven's blessing upon me. The Heavenly Li King Cheng, Emperor Zazong of the Tang Empire, has graciously fulfilled your wish. A wondrous artifact of expert hand craftsmanship will be bestowed upon you for safekeeping. Truly magnificent item. What do we got here? Here it is. Yes. Graciously shall enjoy the architect you've sent us. Yeah, he's an architect. He'll be your loyal eunuch and architect to help you build your wonders over there in the far land, wherever you came from. Oh, and composed a book as well. Hang on, let me look up the figurine first. A small figurine depicting the former Emperor of China. Although small, it has intricate details that shows great craftsmanship. More prestige for me. Everyone knows I've spent years and years directing the work on my book. When today I'm presented with the final product, smiling broadly, I can't help but swell with a sense of well-deserved pride. This has been worth all the hard work. The Confessions of Archon Landar. Inactive. This supposedly autobiographical work tells a movie tale of a young Archon struggling with temptation. Also offers some advice on how to avoid and deal with such issues before it's too late. This lowers even more fertility. This book would be useful if you are a guy who took a vow of celibacy and use more learning. Better if you are in a monastic society. But for me, I'm in an urgent need of children. Who's that goof? Convicted apostate, speaks in voices. Oh yeah, you're going to prison. It's like, yeah, they've put you there. Say, hey, this is not a place for you. Get out of here. You're in the wrong country. since I'm also the owner of this area. I just really spent all that money. Exchanging pleasantries with the envoy, says jokingly, "I've heard about you and your honeyed words." Is that so? Oh no, I don't think I'm that great a speaker. I'm just gregarious, that's all. So I won't be able to write a book again until the next 20 years. Basically when I turn 41, 42, where I'll be able to compose another book. I am not switching that family focus until Lupus is better from being sickly. Would love to have another son, but let's just hope there'll be no family tragedies. Because I know what focus I'll switch to soon. So, here's another Bishop Magus. Lustful. Parao. Okay, just this once. Or it might be more. I realize I had a crush on him. Professor Fields again. Man of the cloth, but he's not homosexual. I don't know. There's gotta be another homosexual member in the Hermetic Society. Just made friends then. Well then what if she finds out? She's my lover. Anyways, my brother, as you know, we're always in need of more ingredients to perform our experiments. These experiments are essential to uncover the mysteries of the world. I propose a joint venture to combine our knowledge in an effort to identify and gather ingredients so that our search for truth will not be halted by such worldly things as material shortage. So I have to go gather ingredients. Even though I do not have an apprentice, that means I have to do it myself. So to complete this quest, you have to successfully harvest ingredients that can be used for your alchemical experiments. In other words, get at least one ingredient. That's what they tell you. God blast it. Initiate Ogolino. Where are you from? Sardinia. I offered his help with gathering the much needed ingredients for further studies of the mysteries of the world. But first I need to decide what kind of ingredients we need. Give me a second. I got something to think about. Because after all my years of playing Crusader Kings, I never knew this has something to do with something. Like say you have to have a certain good skill where you're more than likely to gather up more ingredients. So, let me see. I'm looking at them up here. It sounds a little shame, but no, it's something that I've learned the other day. Where I'm like, well damn, after all these years of playing? Okay. So, to search for ingredients, obviously, if you have an apprentice, it helps increasing one's chances for finding herbs. A high stewardship gardener is best. For animal parts, high martial and hunter, and high diplomacy and gregarious serves best in finding miscellaneous. Well, I'm sure we'll find useful materials in the marketplace, so I head down to the busy market streets of Neapolis. I'm gregarious, I got good diplomacy. It should work. Ow! Popped my neck. The mic didn't pick it up. The stalls around us are brimming with different kinds of goods, and people are swarming around us. Bishop Ugolino and I look at each other's eyes, nodding. We know that we will need to be thorough in our search and excellent in our haggling if we want to make some good deals here. Our charismatic touch Bring forth the best wares to the lowest prices. Keep in mind, we're not members of the Great Trade League. It takes a while to look for them. And hopefully don't have to spend too much. But again, no rush to become the next Doge of the Republic. Let the man grow old while I continue to focus on my studies and family. Slipping by the stalls, every single one of them has an interesting item. I merely poke a bishop to make him aware of it. He puts on a smooth talking after this haggling, almost ending up giving us the items for free. How did we end up with so many things? So we spent 35 gold, and we got 4 ingredients. Alrighty. We got silver, gold, and copper. There you go. Oh, not again, Mama. The man saved my child. I will not get rid of him, no matter what you do. There's not even a rivalry between the two. Calm down. Before me is an endless expanse of grass and a sunset sky colored and pastel shades of rose and gold. A single tree is all there exists. I sit under the tree. The wind faintly whispers my ear, singing of the joys and sorrows of the ancients. It gently sways the tree, and the shadows of the branches and leaves dance over my face. I wake up from the dream and feel at peace. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna tell you people something real quick. I recently got my own Discord. Yes, I have a Discord account finally. Using the Lord Master name, of course. As I was just looking at the thing here, and I put on Do Not Disturb because I'm recording. I'm surprised it notifies that I am playing Crusader Kings 2. Well, what do you know about that? Anyways, my wife, being trained as a cleric, has taken it upon herself to treat us with the priest to gather support for my rule. So far it seems to be working rather poorly. Everything that she said has only offended the priest. Don't talk to the turbulent priest, just get rid of him. Now show me the gold. Today I received a most intriguing proposal from Captain Sambatkios of White Company. As it states, he's willing to lend me a significant amount of gold for me as fit, while I'd be bound to pay him 5 years' time with an interest added to the value. Well, you're a republic. You make all that money just fine. Just do take it. So, a loan of 250 with a payment of 345. Don't forget the value will be paid in 5 years. Be advised, the loan will be immediately paid if the borrower dies, and if the payment time of the character goes bankrupt, the treasury below zero, he will lose a massive amount of prestige. Sitting on that huge pile of money, you have no idea what to do with it. And apparently the mercenary captain is also the member of a monastic society. That's not an Anglo-Saxon name. He was Greek, then he became Anglo-Saxon, oddly enough. Look up here. You got it. You're a Crusader, but yet you're Orthodox. Was you? Yeah, you were Catholic, but I guess due to him of the hatred between, he forced you to convert, didn't he? Probably. Assassinated. New Pope is a possessed Pope. But he's got a silver tongue. That's silver-tongued devil, one would think. Is it time yet? No, this June we'll be able to write another theorem paper. And I'm about to have another child. Not again. And now let's take upon ourselves to treat with the priest of the God of support for my rules. So far it seems to be working in a mediocre way. Very few are taken her seriously at all. Alright, a second son. And a healthy one at that. Again, Germanic sounding names that I'm not used to. Except for a select few that I recognize in modern spelling. CK2. CK2. A large cistern was discovered in Gaeta. Seems to have been used by ancient peoples to collect rainwater, and it's still in relatively good condition. The locals plan to refurbish and reuse it. Perhaps we can lend some funds to help in this endeavor. The economic and social benefits will be considerable. Ancient cistern restored for 10 years, or for 20 years, so I will fully fund their efforts, because I got the money, of course. And plus, I will be a leader who cares, so inside of a restless province, needs to be taken care of. And I've become charitable. See what trait will be rid of. Lost charitable. Oh, never mind. Doesn't faze me one bit. Increases economy spread rate. But man, I'm scared of being the owner of 2 volatile provinces and... Hey. Yeah. You're the cardinal now. If I had my druthers, but the Prefertus is going to be him. Now, why is that? Papal suitability for... No, you got the wrong guy. Oh, okay. What's the reason? Secular power, Italian. Virtues, learning, by age. It's always the seniority. Heck, once I'm elected Doge, and what to do if you get a huge pile of money? Well, put on a campaign fund. Get all 3 of these bishops into the College of Cardinals. That sounds like an idea. And you got your next expected cardinal. He's in. He's in the college. Oh, definitely not him. But keep in mind, there's this thing I almost never do in this game as a Catholic. Appointing successors. Okay, which one is the older guy? Who's more likely to pass away? Him. Okay. My court chaplain. You'll be the appointed successor. We gotta get rid of this goof somehow. Well, here's a way. Because I don't like him because he's a bad person and he's slow and he stutters. I would rather have this bishopric be succeeded by my court chaplain, who is a good man. Mostly good, despite his pride. I do not typically do such things, but I would love to have a pope who is of a Langobard origin. We never had one. Hey, come on, we're all Italians here. So I know, let's make him look bad. Plan to fabricate treason. Just to let the public know, to say, hey, he's a bad guy. thanks, but no thanks. My co-conspirators fabricated the evidence for the bishop. Plan to revolt against me. I'll circulate the evidence among my vassals. They will support my actions against the traitor. I'll see him disgraced. Bingo. Now let's book him. Hey, he rebelled against me. Get the local forces. We got you surrounded. Come out of there. Cannot believe I'm doing that to him, an old bishopric. But we're only putting it because of my court chaplain, whom he calls the cleansing flame. Take revenge against my mama. Listen, as my mother hates you, and if she tells you to... Let's go one more time. You're going to prison. Now remember, I cannot revoke your title because that would be... Oh, hold on. Let's try this again. He's the appointed successor. There you go. Can't execute him because... Well, actually I could right now. I mean, he's the one that rebelled against me. He's the bad guy here, but... Killing somebody who is a member of the Catholic Church? Is there going to be repercussions? Or should we just banish him? I think banishing is a much more palpable thing. I mean, killing somebody who's... I'm a Crusader, and a guy's a fellow Catholic, even though he's not a good Catholic at one. Executing him seems harsh. Man's a bishop, but telling him to banish because he rebelled against me. So, it's perfectly legal. Get out of here. He went to Salerno, right next door. Over there to be exact. Alright, brother. You... Now I can put my money to get you on board. Despite your youthfulness. Because of the age. But you have mostly good virtues. And Dynasties von Nola. Let me put a bunch of money on that. You know, something to do. Put him in the college. The Pope sent an emissary to peculiar request. The emissary explains that the clergy has been very involved with the hospital lately. As such, a fair compensation expects to be paid. How much? 1 second. If it's the will of the Blessed Virgin, I'll repay them back later if I feel like I don't have anything to spend. You know, now that you have 2 sons, I think it would be good to switch to a new focus. Scholarship. So bury my nose in dusty old tomes seeking knowledge and learning. And unlocks to build observatory decision. The starting point for my studies. You need that. Always mark that as an important decision. I could invest in building an observatory to start studying the stars and other celestial bodies. Who knows what I might learn? I've begun the construction of the observatory. It'll take some time to collect all the necessary materials and get everything in order. I can't wait. And let's try to smuggle operation again. And, well, simply for the sake of it, hold a summer fair. Because I need some entertainment in my life. after that little situation that happened in this bishopric. Now that I put him there. Pope just died. Natural death. Didn't even last a year. And he's a Lombard. You know what that means, right? You're about to be in a college soon. The jester who performed during the summer fair ran around with a silly hat with bells. Before I knew it, he hit me with his bottle. Everyone laughed at this, and his jokes were right as insults. It was rather funny, because I'm good guys. Given the war that our republic has plunged into, the family council is asking a significant contribution to help further our objectives and improve our standing in the republic as a whole. I am pressed to contribute with funds. Oh, it's not much. Oh yeah, and they're about to spawn and fight against these guys. We will fulfill our duty. That didn't work. Oh, I don't want to have Norse neighbors. Oh, here you are. Adventure conquest. I don't want to have these guys as my neighbors. Time to raise an army again. Going to war. I had invited a monkey trainer to the summer fair, and the performance went well until one of the monkeys refused to ride on top of the pig. The trainer beat the monkey with a stick, which led the other monkeys to attack the trainer, biting him and hitting him with his own stick. Fine, here's your money. I don't want to see you here ever again. I don't want Norsemen in Italy. Let's go get him. Give him the works. Sure to save up money for that. We didn't get him to be in college, but he's got what it takes. It seems even. Just to help with their war score. That got him. Let's go home. Damn, already? I can make a horoscope. Plus 2 learning. So now I'm in a depth. You're in friendly territory now. That's what they were doing. I am not happy with Serenaheld. She done screwed it up. Who are you? That's because he's resting and they thought, hey, we should take advantage of all this. Now start saving up money, for Christ's sake. And focus on your studies. Now she's in there. Now he's in their prison. Do what you will. Now, I got an observatory to build. I just remembered the theorem paper. It's time to write another. I face a daunting task of researching and writing an entire theory to be reviewed by my peers. To have it prepared by the Order, it would be a great boon to me. But if the quality is found to be lacking, it might be a big blow to my prestige. I used to do this, but now I have this option, thanks to high diplomacy. With the help of some other bright minds, I might stand a better chance of success. There's no shame for asking others for help. My observatory is finally ready. It is with great anticipation that I prepare to make my first observations. Wonder what strange things I will discover. Studying the stars. What's going on down there? Are you even winning the war? You got all this money, why aren't you hiring mercenaries? I'm not coming out here to assist you, that's your business. Oh, wait a minute. Maletta. That's where the smallpox originated. It started just recently. Spreading. Maletta is Malta. It is finished. That was quick. Because I started back in January. I have produced an excellent paper on ascension. It explores the concept of ascension. New ways by which this state might be achieved. Which in turn might provide new approach to theology. And I always like to submit it to my Hermetic peers for review. I will send it out at once. Who's there? My sister in the Hermetic Order, Death God, has stepped forth with an idea for a ritual that might invoke the presence of a divine being. The prospect of petitioning the divine itself for knowledge is tantalizing, and the idea was therefore received with excitement in the Order. The ritual will take place in a few weeks' time. Well, she's a bit deaf, so how could she hear the words of the divine being she wishes to summon? Well, she's a lip reader. Oh, okay. She understands how everything works. And she had an encouraging vision. She may be deaf, but she's a lip reader. Didn't know that's a modifier for deaf characters, because I never played as a deaf character. Fortunately. So, I have an ingredient. I have some interesting flask of Codatus. So, some ingredients will be removed and be sent to her in preparation for the ritual. There's a chance this will enhance my experience. So, well, god dang, I just really took them all. The only ingredient I have left is gold. My brother, I have a proposal which might interest you. An old letter detailing the possible locations of some lost Hermetic writings came to my possession not many moons ago. If you fund an expedition, we could search for these treasures together. Moravin. Right. Says yes. Says yes. The letter mentioned 3 lost texts. A tome in a local inquiry. A scroll hidden in the Church of Gate. Which one? And a ancient tablet ruins of Opale in Starizat. Further we ventured in distance from the past, the greatest secrets we might uncover. The choice is yours. Well, I'm a gambling man, so... to Opale. I know where that is. I know where that is. It's up here in Celestia. It's tribal territory as it's still ran by Polish pagans. A minor hunt for the guy who runs the place. And he's the leader who cares, just like me. Pillar of the Plains. Oh, He's also a member of the Champions of Perun. In other words, do not mess with this Polish man. He will beat you up. Summoning the Divine. The time has come for the ritual, and the order is congregated in the spacious room. Symbols scattered the floor as I chant my hymns. Nishita, the god, was provided with all the new special type of incense that she claims it is necessary to make the eventual connection with the divine being. Before long it has permeated the air. As I inhale more and more of it, hearing the drone of my fellows' chants, I feel my soul disconnect from my body and begin to ascend, until it connects with something. An entity touches my soul. Though I cannot perceive it with any senses other than my mind's eye, it must be the divine being. I've succeeded. I struggle to control my emotions and cultures all my thoughts to the one burning question to pose this being. O divine, pray tell me the operation of the stars. How dare he not good enough? What's the matter with you? Think you're better than me? The divine being has given me cryptic advice on the pursuit of astrology in its many forms. Oh, with ample time spent mulling it over afterwards, I believe I'd decipher what it meant. I look forward to putting it to good use. The divine being has my total confidence. Bingo. The big one. Surprised they only occupied Amalfi and nothing else. They better not ransack my grandfather's burial site and take his bones or something. There's a man I need to arrest, and another I want to assassinate. Spy Master Serena Hilt could help with the arrest or the assassination, but not both. Send her to the plot. If you really care about... That's the name I was trying to look for. Tassilo. Interesting, there's a brand new Austrian Prime Minister who has that kind of name. I believe that's his middle name or something. In real life thing. So you got 3 sons. But there can only be one to be the next designated heir. But for now, it's still going to be my father because he's an adult. I spent many nights looking at the stars in my observatory. It's truly fascinating. There are so many questions to ask. How do the stars move? So I'm more into astrology. So enough peers have endorsed my paper and the orders accepted to his library. Published. Now for God's sake, start trying to save money. Gotta be a man just in no time. And I'm still in my 20s, which is amazing. Fast learner. Though I would have loved to have a daughter, but I think it's practically just wishful thinking. So Lupus, Sico, and Tassilo. All of them descended from this bloodline. She's no longer there. I guess over in Aragon they got a new son, I would assume. On our expedition to foreign lands certainly encountered very shared difficulties. We dealt everything from unfavorable weather to lame horses. But in the end, the fraudulent guide was the nail in the coffin. When he escaped our last gold, we also discovered that we were in the wrong part of Starisats. Curses! Wrong part of Starisats. Chiefdom of Starisats. You mean in Krakow or Starisats itself, or it's somewhere in Silesia, alright? I have a friend who lives over there. War's been going on for a while for them. Now the Arabian Empire joins, but it's a matter of a weakened state. My court chaplain is insinuating politely that I can learn further in a wide array of subjects to be much more efficient if I spend some time each day taking lessons about the classical period from him. However, I've placed myself in a position of student that is not good for my prestige. On the other hand, an improvement of my knowledge is tempting. I'm willing to place the effort. You know, I am a erudite, I have a learning education, and there's a high learning skill, so this will be a guaranteed success at this point. In one of the larger villages of Neapolis, a respected elder has recently passed away. He was beloved by all for his virtue and wisdom. Few had anything bad to say about him. His funeral attracted many who wished to pay their respects to him. And some even claim that his spirit will provide the land with many blessings before he passes to the afterlife. May his soul rest in peace. An elder from one of the local villages, widely revered and renowned throughout the region, has recently passed away. Some say that respoons there thanks to his benevolent spirit. Observing the movements of stars and I begin to see some regular patterns. These observations, however, have raised many new questions. I'm starting to wonder, for example, if the Earth is really the center of it all. Interesting. Not diligent. Wish I was. Oh god, smallpox and measles. Are there instances where this is the same epidemic of smallpox, but it's starting to circle us, like circling of the wagons. I stumbled into a courtier eating cookies outside of the kitchen. The courtier apologized several times, then he offered me a cookie as an apology for being in my path, and the cynic in me got the best of me. I lost myself in cynical comments about how the courtier was trying to poison me with baked goods, probably spoken out loud. I'm sorry, but the cookie looks suspicious. I'm talking to Serena Hill. Sister. Serena Hill wants me to stop being cynical. That is a promise I will not be able to hold, but I won't disturb her anymore. I hope that is enough, but probably not. She despises cynicism. Hold on right there. I was given some kebab as a present. This strange spice is said to come from the islands east of Hindustan. The Andaman Islands? Many learned men say that it has two main purposes. One, to ward off demons and other sorts of malevolent spirits, and two, to increase one's fertility. The learned men and cooks of the court know of ways to best bring about one or the other, but not both. What are you, nuts? Well, I'm a cynic, so it's readily believable about. To be quite honest, he's not much of a religious man himself, because he's a cynical unbeliever. But I will use it to enhance my sexual prowess. There's a chance it may increase the fertility, which we may never know. Other than the prestige you've got. If you happen to get up about 5 children, then that means that this thing worked. Who? Oh, just some guy. I don't mind. Let it happen. No, don't do it. Quit messing with the domain centralization. possibly finish soon. Oh, yes. You better pay that back to the Jewish merchants. Oh god, it's rebellious. Quick! Get the Protostrato. Will you move out of the way, please? Just a second. Here. You're supposed to click on this little island here. What to do with the rebellious province? You send your marshal there, or your Protostrato, and you contest the rebels. If my marshal is suppressing revolts and assigned to rebellious province, I can order him to fight the rebels there and increase the stability of the province to restless. The amount of times I can do it depends on the realm marshal. The realm marshal is 38. There. Now you'll be able to do that again in 5 years. I can also increase the stability of the province. Just make it go back to normal. I just want the volatility to be rid of. The research I conduct in my observatory at night is proving deeply fascinating. I could push my studies further, but I need to purchase more equipment for it to be meaningful. I must move forward, even if I have to spend all that money. Not interested in increasing trade posts. Spending it for science. Oh. The time passed of my courtship and studying the classical only created confusion in my mind. How did I screw that up? In the end, and confronted with the size of my ignorance, I lost confidence in my decisions, which can only hurt my present knowledge. Worse still, my underperformance became a joke at the court beyond. What a disastrous decision. Oh no, I've become slothful. Hopefully it better be rid of quickly. Slothful is one of the worst sins you can have. Just to make matters worse, I lost patience. Crud! That could mean more provincial stability decreasing. But hey, at least it prospers around here. Hey, since when did you join the Hermetic Society? Well, he's paranoid, so he's kind of hard to get him into the college. I think that little spice thing worked. Or whatever that thing that came from Hindustan. The way of enlightenment. So, this plan details our position from a cultural and religious standpoint, aiming to establish bonds between myself and the malcontents. All this relies on the knowledge of my overseer and the ability to communicate clearly with the rebels. Now I'm the one deciding. Well, you have some degree of knowledge, so give it a go ahead. You're about to win this war. Yeah, that's why you hired mercenaries. Unfortunately, our message of cultural religious bonds did not pass, and the malcontents parted ways with my delegation on bad terms. Whether it's the fault of the uncultured overseer or the stupidity of the honest remains to be seen. Part of the matter is, no improvements remain to prevent stability. A pity. The path of knowledge. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 3 is... As I spend my time teaching others, I begin to wonder if this is my path. To share what I know with my students. To instruct them. To help them being achievers. I certainly enjoy tutoring, so a decision must be made. While I have all this vast knowledge, this is my path. I could teach them about medical science. One morning, my friend comes to see me. She says that I am worried. I have heard that I'm spending a late night studying the sky and entertaining heretical notions about the cosmos. I But I ask that you'd help, that you'd stop for your own sake. There's no reason to be deceitful. I'm not that kind of person. Stay out of my business. I really gotta get rid of that slothful trait. It's gonna make the provincial stability worse. And you can't get rid of the volatility of the provinces, meaning there's gonna be some danger around here. Something with stewardship, something with stewardship. There is no something with stewardship. Maybe you need to get that diplomacy back up. Because you've been screwing up lately, so... You already had that option. You know what? Go back to that. Forced to. Whoa, you've taken Tripoli. Taking more land that you really need to. Because to be honest, if I'm Doge, I do not want control of this land. They've been giving them too much land. They need to go independent. Now, my wife Zena asked me to buy her some new clothes. Because of the pregnancy, she has outgrown most of her wardrobe and now she feels frustrated for not having anything nice. Wonder if she needs to make an appearance at court. My dear, you do not need your clothes. You're already wonderful. High Crown Authority? Sure. More power to you. And more power to me when I'm elected. Yet a fourth son. Alright, the family line lives still. Zado. Never seen that name in these parts. Zoto or Zato? How do you pronounce that? For you Germanic speakers. As in speakers of the German language or older. You are intervening in a war. You're allied with him, aren't you? For Wendish. That's pretty far. My nightly studies of the movements of the celestial bodies are increasing my knowledge of a great many things. I feel that I'm getting close to the understanding of the universe. He's a low Saxon. Popes have come and gone. Let me put the money into that. Sense of harmony out there. Save it when you're elected. Dear colleague, I have found the most fascinating phenomenon from observing the sky. I am firmest belief that the foundation of the cosmos is hiding somewhere out there. In order to reach higher knowledge, you should take my advice and study the skies thoroughly. Observe the sky. So, again, one cannot fully understand our place because one does not see the stars. It is said that the stars contain the truth of all things past and all things to come. By solving their riddles, one could predict anything. So, I have to carefully study the sky and solve the puzzles that connect the physical world with the astral one. How much is it to make a horoscope? Because I feel it's about time to start using some of them. Especially to my eldest, who is... Oh, Lupus. You're actually the heir to the Duchy of Aragon. So, okay. Whomever of my children I name is designated successor. He's going to Aragon no matter what. Well, that depends on your future. I don't know what you're all going to be like. I mean, I'm bright, she's dim, so who knows? So let me make a horoscope. May search heavens for insight from the future of my child, Lupus. Same for Zico. Yes, I'm spending a bunch of esoteric knowledge. And Tassilo. I'll be mad just a little later. Just let me complete more missions. Because you think I'm a little rather too young to be Magus? Oh, you know what? Screw it. Yes, I'm spending it all. And then we'll get all the esoteric knowledge later. And I'll become Magus in the next episode or so as I advance too quickly. So, may choose to turn to mystical art of deviation and attempt to foretell the future. You got it. I place the bowl before me and wait for the water to be perfectly still. A regular scrying will allow me to choose a focus for my thoughts. On the other hand, I could use something from my shelves in alchemy in order to create something unforeseen before. Reflection on the water ripples as I let out a deep breath. Some crushed gold shall help form the pattern. Using the gold will increase my chance of having a positive reaction to the shapes in the water. Hopefully. The stars hold many secrets, but they are not indecipherable. Using the right instruments and a frame of mind, I'll uncover the destiny of Tassilo. Come what may, I prepare my tools and instruments for long nights ahead. Same for Zico and Lupus. Now as for the newborn baby, too young to tell. The instruments and tomes I've had to gather from my studies to the secrets behind the stars finally arrived. Lenses of different shapes and sizes, together with dusty old tomes written by learned people. These will prove valuable for uncovering truth. Now I can carefully observe the sky as I get my head in the clouds. I see strange patterns. No, wait, a bunch of triangles. Damnation! This is clearly a bad omen. The gold didn't work. After spending many nights of analyzing the movements of the stars, I have noticed Venus is moving aside, influencing my son Tassilo. I am fairly certain that this indicates he's destined for a position of diplomacy, with wits and charm uncommon amongst most members of our court. Well, whatever your destiny may be, I could have not made up a destiny more fitting. So I'm thankful my findings encourage any interest of this kind. I think it would have been best if you were to wait for he reaches a certain age, then make a horoscope, rather than do it this early. Now, for Zico. So I noticed the moon moving in the sign influencing my son Zico. Indicates he's destined for studying, and an intellect uncommon amongst our members. Sure. Just go with it, just say yes. Notice Venus moving to a sign influencing Lupus indicates destined for intrigue and cleverness. Well, since he's destined to go to Aragon to serve its lord there. Sure. He'll figure out. You worry too much. In fact, since I have an upsetting vision, I worry. You got it. Aristocratic Grand City. That's all. Bishop has been very cold to me lately. When I approached him today, he asked me point blank where I was. Was when? I responded. We had plans to visit my uncle, the one who likes fishing. I know you weren't all that excited, but I didn't expect you to not show up, he mutters. I have many important things on my mind lately. So my knowledge of stellar phenomena increases. I'm a night owl. Chance that the friendship could end. But all I can say is, who cares? So I'm spending a lot of nights looking at skies, on instruments occasionally falling from my pockets. After many a night observing the skies, I've become certain there is a pattern to the movement of celestial bodies I've yet to uncover. However, I'm concerned to put this endeavor to rest for the sake of my other duties. No, I have to keep going. Keep studying. Cannot believe that Amalfi is sending an expeditionary force to go to Pomerania. One of my courtiers came back today after visiting a cousin living in a town some distance away. I was offered some precious onions as a gift. Oh, thank you, Mother. But of course you would. You should go great in soup. Of course you would get something like that. It's come to my attention that the Logothere of the course of Guide. What the heck is... Oh, it's a minor title for someone of a Greek origin of an independent duchy. I wouldn't do that if I were you. And they better not use it. My wife expressed a curious notion over supper this evening. I miss your conversation, my lord, Xena, as said, taking another sip of her drink. It's all astronomical phenomena of you these days. Surely, could you take some nights off from your research? You're stressed. But hey, one does not simply take a break from this task. Now I become starry-eyed. No, she's not. Well, she did broke up with me. It says former lover. And calls me out of touch. Spending the majority of the time secluded in their studying, observing the skies, they're often heard strange calculations to themselves. After many nights observing the skies, started charting the patterns of the stars as well as movement of certain planets. There is so much to learn. However, my council won't stop complaining about my absence on the court. Perhaps it's time to conclude my research. No! Keep going! See, destinated. If they are destined, so be it. Working in my observatory, I'm often, frustrated by broken equipment, weeks on end of cloudy weather. Cloudy weather? Assume it's cloudy. Frequent interruptions by curious intruders and even animals. It's very hard to maintain concentration to get anything done. I must persist. The truth is out there. Didn't become diligent. The longer that tale, the course of it, Bishop Moses again. Son of a beeswax. Now she has a... Oh wait, he's trying to... keep things again. You would go for pride. She decided to go ahead and use the claim that time. Nothing more than laughable, obviously fabricated documents to back it up. That bastard! Making sure that the landowners and traders are paying their taxes in timely fashion is a time-consuming task. Lately, my mind has been more occupied with the task of making sure that the stars are in their correct place, rather than the taxes that are in my coffers. What is wealth compared to knowledge? There is no wealth like knowledge, no poverty like ignorance. Neglected accounting. He rather spends time in the clouds than bothering fiscal matters. As a stellar navigator, he's become an expert on celestial phenomena. Their knowledge are being held in high regard by their peers, so we're almost done. In fact, I think I did lose that friend. So I lost my friend, and she broke up with me, even though we're still married. I'm stressed. After many a night observing the skies, I started charting the patterns of stars, as well as the movement of certain planets. There is so much to learn. Well, my council won't stop clearing my absence score. Perhaps it's time to conclude my research. I understand so much. I am satisfied with my progress and will conclude my research, letting my mission come to an end. I hope so. The disease is gone. My careful observations of Jupiter has finally allowed me to conclude that my odd projections of the planet's across the sky, planet's path across the sky have been flawed. With some precise adjustments, I could present a corrected projection. This will lead me closer to the truth behind the mysteries of the world. I just pick up patient. Please get rid of Slothful. Please get rid of Slothful. Otherwise, things will go back to normal. Well, I lost, Gregarious. The blackmailer's mad. If you want my help, I want to be reimbursed. We'll wrap this episode up very soon. I agree to help Neapolis with his lunatic extortionist. Paid for my help. I had already figured out a plan when the bishop told me whether or not my help was wanted enough for getting my demands fulfilled. I've gotten the money. Now here's what shall we do. But speaking of money, give me some, quick. That guy who I own the loan to is still alive, so it would be much proper. Because you need to start saving up money to build another improvement. Sooner or later. So yeah, I'm under the belief that something disastrous with failed pupil publisher's theorem paper, which won't do that again until very soon. This one, oh, it's a retinue. Off to Pomerania again. Natural death? Natural death. Again, I don't need to assassinate or make him a fraud or whatever to make sure that he, you know, loses his position. Then I get to become elected Doge. Now, my focus is with the Hermetic Society. Dear Archon Landar Neapolis, your studies have not gone unnoticed. In these days, the world is full of heresy, and good men must do what they can to avoid adding to the confusion. You may pursue your studies as long as you refrain from questioning the conventional wisdom and divine revelation. Any novel ideas are presented as mere theories and not an established fact. Who are you again? Honorable soul, and he's got guard dogs. Faking stewardship. What kind of man is he? I would pick up the brave trait just to tell him to give him a finger. But I don't want to lose studying the stars. But if you try to annoy the religious authorities and if you make the Pope mad, I ought to get excommunicated for this. But hey, you're a veteran Crusader and a skilled fighter. Where is your bravery? Okay, just this once. As long as there's no disease in Rome at the moment, send him to improve relations with the Pope. Because he should stay out of my business! He'll get over it. Or wait for him to pass away of old age. Alright, my man. He's in the college now. Now all you need is one more guy to get him into the college. And then there you go. A way shrine to has recently gained fame for the blessing it's supposed they granted to those who pray at it. Pilgrims and travelers are making their ways in droves, seeking the boons it provides. Perhaps I should visit there one day. An old way shrine in this region has become quite famous, attracting pilgrims and travelers from far. It is a boost to the local economy. The time for the payment has arrived. The paid loan has arrived. Everything will go smoothly, and I'll be able to keep my promise to continue to have credit. Yeah, pay up. He's got way too many trade posts. Lupus has always had a keen eye for intrigue. Reading my letters, eavesdropping on council meetings. The boy has little respect for privacy. Yet it's hard to say what motivates his mischief. Meanwhile, the court seems to think he's growing up to be the brightest member of House Ursul. Is that so? The stars favor him. In line with his destiny, I believe it will make great use of this talent. And if not, then he can go to Aragon. But it's possible he might go to Aragon right now. So let's have a look at it real quick. Aragon, Aragon, Aragon. Here it is. Kidsman. About that. Should be collecting taxes. The war is won up there. No, don't need to do that. A butterfly landed on my own. It looks so harmless, just fluttering its wings unaware of my existence. Got rid of content, but still haven't gotten rid of slothful. I'll wait till it flies away, because I am a patient person. Hey, what happened to him? Oh, he's resting. Hey, Bishop. Gonna need you in the college. Which of course requires a bunch of money. Or that's the case if you don't have anything else to spend. Tell you what, we'll end this episode at the beginning of 9... Hang on. My studies of the celestial spheres are progressing well. I'll see the movements and relationships that I've never dared guess at. It seems clear to me now that the laws that guide the movements of the stars must also be reflected on Earth in some way. And what is Earth? So we will end the episode right here. Because in the next episode, we'll conclude the study of the stars. And also to see what the destiny lies for these children of mine. But I suggest wait till he turns 6, then make a horoscope. Don't do it when they're babies. It'll be much harder to tell. And save your esoteric knowledge for one day. You'll be Magus. And for one day, you're sure to be right. And one day, I will be elected Doge of the Republic of Amalfi. And we hope you people will be there to witness all this and more in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.